Started freelancing, started bringing on clients, and then realizing that was the path for me. If you told me I would have a business, I wouldn't want that. But I realized what freedom you could have from actually growing a company, but not a stationary company. And I saw web design and I thought it was interesting. I've always been good with computers, and then I realized I could do it all remote. And the whole process was pretty much systematized. If I needed more clients, I just turned on an ad and I got appointments in my calendar. Boom, just closed more clients, and that was it. So all my YouTube videos came from just people asking questions in the community.
How many people are in the community now?
Over 1,400.
That's sick. That's so sick. What's up, guys? I am here with Mr. Pavlo. Pavlo, where are we at in this world right now?
Medellin, Colombia, good sir.
Medellin, Colombia.
Our favorite place.
Our favorite place. We've been like all over the last couple of years. I feel like this is a long time coming because you and I have been connected for 3 or 4 years now. I think you first messaged me, you were in Mexico. I think I might have been in Colombia, and we're just connected. And your journey over the last few years has been so fucking inspiring, bro. Like I feel like I saw the rise of Pavlo, and I think a lot of people are now seeing it. And I think people that are from the outside, they probably think overnight success. I might be wrong, but you're the number 2 affiliate for High Level.
That's right.
Number 2 affiliate for a $1.5 billion company, which is absolutely insane. The only thing I hold Pavlo up is that he has not been to a High Level event yet.
That's true.
So we got to go this year. This is the year.
Traveling.
This is the year we're going. I've gone back-to-back years. So,
we gotta go.
Dude, I want to dive into your story, how we got to where we are today, tips for people that want to get into the affiliate marketing world, or just make money online, because you and I live pretty epic lives, and I think both you and I want to help people live this type of life. Let's take it back, bro. 5, 6, 7 years ago, when you finished school. I know you didn't go to college, right? Like myself.
I went for 2 years.
You went for 2 years. Did you finish? You finished both years?
I have an associate's degree.
Okay, so that's good.
Yeah.
You're above where I am, which is good. So what school did you go to?
I went to ECC, so this is a school in Buffalo, which is where I'm from. I was going to transfer to another school, but I got into digital marketing, got into web design, just started my entrepreneurial ventures, started freelancing, started bringing on clients, and then realizing that was the path for me. I learned more from 6 months of doing a trial run of let me see if I can figure this out than I did in school for those entire 2 years.
So let's take it back really quick. At what point during your school career did you figure out, okay, I don't want to finish the next 2 or 4 years of school?
Yeah, so pretty much my last year even of school. So I didn't even want to go to college, but the thing is, I come from a traditional family. I'm Ukrainian. I was born there. My mom migrated, basically sacrificed everything. Same thing with my dad. Started over in America. We're swapping floors, grinding 2 jobs, so I didn't really see them after I got home from school. So I felt that duty to my mom, who was also telling me and kind of pressuring me, hey, you should go to school. You want to become something. You want to become someone. And the last thing I wanted to do, even though I didn't know what I wanted to do, I knew I didn't want to be a loser, because it's a failure to my whole family and everything that they gave up. So I went to school, and after about the first year, I started realizing that this might not be the path for me.
What were you studying?
In the beginning, I was doing some computer science, and then I ended up switching to just liberal arts because I wanted to explore different classes, and I wanted to just take random classes. Like I took art class, and then I took acting class. And obviously, if you're constrained to 1 degree, then you just either have to take math or science or whatever. But I wanted to do everything. So yeah, I ended up switching.
So then at what point, 18, 19, you started getting more in the agency space, or was it before, right around COVID? What point did you okay, and was the agency your first entrance to making money online?
Yeah, man, so that's a good question. Actually, 2017 is when I started my company.
Wow.
So a little bit ago.
7 years.
But just because I started my company doesn't mean I was really successful or knew what I was doing at all. I mean, I started reading books probably for a year before I started my company. So I started reading a lot in 2016. And that's when I started understanding that I had to give myself an education. And 2017, I started, and I was just a freelancer. So I was doing websites, and then I was learning SEO. And that was my entry into entrepreneurship. And the only reason that I even started that is because I needed a vehicle to apply all the knowledge I was learning in books. I knew that I learned hands-on. So for me to just read business books, and for me, and also working online and traveling and being a digital nomad wasn't really a thing like it is now, right? Making money online, it's just
non-existent.
Right.
Really.
So I read The 4-Hour Workweek. That was a great book as well.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, so that was kind of my entry. I just made a list of everything I definitely don't want to do and everything I'm good at, and and then everything that I have skills in as well. So I had this list, and I was looking at everything, and I just decided, web design is not a bad career.
We're going to get to that in a second, because I love the 4-Hour Workweek. I don't know about you, but I was reading at a time where 4-Hour Workweek was didn't make any sense, because I come from 40-hour work weeks, seeing my parents grind just like you, Eastern Europeans, right? And then the 4-hour work week and you're rich. It's wait a second, I thought you're supposed to work more. I thought rich people work more than poor people. And it never made sense to me. But the one thing that Tim Ferriss planted the seed with for me was virtual assistant. Like he was one of the first people to like
Yes.
talk about
Yeah, he was big
the
on that.
VA world, right? And I was just like, I mean, at the time, again, didn't any none of that made sense. So, what books besides 4 Hour Work Week did you get into that you would recommend people to get into? How you got into the space?
Yeah, so that's definitely a good entry point. And 4 Hour Work Week too was not just about, I think, making money, but it was also about defining what being rich actually meant. I was never into business. I didn't want to become an entrepreneur. I was a parkour athlete, dude. I was a gymnast. I just competed. I just wanted to do flips. And I just wanted to travel, and that was it. If you told me I would have a business, I wouldn't want that. You know, to me, business meant you're just some guy in some corner office working 100 hours a week with a suit, and you hate your job. But with that book, I realized what freedom you can have from actually growing a company, but not a stationary company, right? So that's the biggest thing that I took away from that, is just defining where I want to go and what my dream is. So other books though, it depends on your stage. You know, it depends on where you're at and where you want to go. There's different books I can recommend, but if you're just getting started, I mean, Magic of Thinking Big was huge for me as well, because that one allows you to adjust your thoughts and actually think bigger. I didn't think it was possible. For me, no one around me did that. 10K a month, even like 6 figures a year, I didn't know anyone. Like, dude, I didn't even see $1,000 in my bank account until I was like past 20. It was big one. Psycho-Cybernetics is a good classic. So those are probably the top 3 you can start with.
So when we go back to, you got into the web design world and then you thought to yourself, I can probably get clients. My question to you is, did you buy a course, or how did you really learn to dive into that world?
Yes, actually, initially it was YouTube. I just realized that web design in my school, they actually had it under a catalog of degrees and like different things that you can get. And I saw web design and I thought it was interesting. I've always been good with computers. And then, like I said, I was taking some art classes and I just enjoyed them. I just liked it. It was fun. So I thought, okay, what if I can combine the two? And then I realized I could do it all remote, hypothetically. And then I started doing the math and I was, thinking, okay, how many clients would I need to make a full-time income, like 4K a month, just so I could travel full-time? So that's what initially attracted me to it. I didn't really take any courses. Courses also weren't that big. YouTube wasn't that great. So I actually learned how to code. So I learned how to write HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Like I was getting into programming. Like that was like the space.
Was your goal to like get a job in that world, or maybe try to program your own?
In the beginning, because I wanted 2 options. I wanted to have a real skill and then also try my hand at business. But I wanted some kind of skill that I can still monetize in a job if I couldn't figure it out by, I think 30 was the date that I had set. Like I'm going to try my very best in 20s, take all risks. And then if I still don't have it figured out, at least I'll have a high paying job. And programming was that job.
When did you get your first client?
So in my first year, my first client was $150. I was working a security job and it was just one of my coworkers. He had a photography business. Wow. And I charged him $150 and I just built him a basic website on WordPress.
That's so cheap. That's
and
crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah. And I did everything myself, right? Yeah. So my first year I got 3 clients. That's how great of a entrepreneur I was.
But you obviously you were working security job, is that what you said? So then you had 3 clients. And then did it feel real to you? Did you feel like, okay, there's something here? Because 3 clients is obviously not a lot, but was it like in your head, all right, this is possible, there's something here? Like where was the turning point in that year that you could do this?
Yeah, the biggest turning point was that 3rd client. That 3rd client, I started reading more books on negotiation and sales, and I started applying everything, right? And so my 3rd client I got it was actually a Craigslist ad. They used to be free. They're very expensive now. They're $5. And people complain about that, which is crazy.
It's great. It's insane.
But so it came from a Craigslist ad. And on this ad, I just said, hey, building websites to build my portfolio. And someone contacted me. And I sat down with him, and this particular negotiation book said, let the other person give you an offer first. And I just applied that. And I said, hey, I know you have quotes from other web designers. What have they quoted you? And he said, 2K. I said, okay. And my plan was to pitch him $800. So I said, okay, well, let me just double this in the moment real quick. And so I said, well, I could do it for you for $1,500. And then he ended up signing the first check for the first half in that day.
Nice.
And then I got $750. And I mean, I built that website in less than 2 weeks. And that was mind blowing to me because that was all remote. That was on my own. That was like in my free time. And that was the first time that I realized, okay, I can actually make like into the thousands with this skill.
Is this around like 2018, 2019 now?
Not 2019, late 2017 perhaps.
Okay. So this is this is all your first year.
Yes.
And then, okay, so then you get the first client, and then obviously that's your first $1,000 client, over $1,000. And then you're like, okay, this is real. I can actually do something from this. And then what was the next? I like to say in business, I believe that we make a lot of decisions every day that can alter the entire way we do business. So, what I call the butterfly effect, right? So sounds like your first butterfly effect was just doing the business. The second butterfly effect was getting this $1,000 client, because God knows you might not even be here if you didn't get that one, at the time that you did. What was the third butterfly effect that was like, okay, I gotta like get more of these clients? How do I get more of these clients?
Yeah. So I did take a course on SEO. I realized the problem with web design is it's very up and down. You might get a lot of clients, and I've charged clients $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. I ended up just elevating my skills, and then I became better at sales and everything. And we could talk about that in a second. But I realized I needed a reoccurring service if I want any kind of business, and I wanted to step away from just being a freelancer, because even though I started this business, I was still working full time, and then I used that skill to get a job, right? And then I ended up quitting my job to go all in, but then I couldn't get clients, and I did buy a course on SEO, and that helped a lot, because then I started doing SEO, and I started understanding just stuff about marketing and realizing, okay, people pay for leads, just understanding that concept. But the biggest butterfly effect for sure, I would say, was 2020. That's when I really started hitting all-time high revenue numbers. And the reason for that is because I started focusing. In 2019 is when I started making a full-time income. So I was making 4, 5, 6K a month in profit. And I was able to start traveling full time. So I moved down to Florida, I moved to California, and I was just traveling, just living on beaches, and I kind of did that life. 2020, I wanted to focus on my business and see how far I could take it. So I got locked in, and then also the bug happened in 2020, so we were all locked in our homes, which for me, I didn't plan on doing anything anyways. I moved to Vegas, and I didn't know anyone, I didn't have any friends, nothing to do anyways. So I just built my business, went to the gym, worked out, and that was it, and just read books and went on courses. And so that focus, that year I ended up running paid ads. So I learned from the course, I bought a bunch of courses, learned paid ads, started running that for my agency. Hit 10K a month, then a couple months later, hit 15, and so forth.
And this is amazing. The reason I'm asking a lot about your background, obviously for my audience and people watching, just to get to know a little bit more about you, but also because I believe that every entrepreneur today, or people that have been in business, I should say specifically for like the last 5, 6 years, there's a pre-COVID and post-COVID entrepreneur. And I feel like you're at the beginning, you were just starting out, you're figuring things out. And then 2020, ironically, when most people, just in general struggled, obviously there was craziness going on in the world, you were able to figure it out. Like that was the year that things, and I feel the same about, where I was at, because that's when I launched my business as well. So 2020, you started hitting 5 figures a month. At that point, it's been now a full-time business, and that's how you make, I'm assuming you don't have a job. This is your full-time, right? So this is it. So you're doing your thing. Let's talk a little bit about the agency. So you worked with contractors at that point?
Yes, I was working with contractors kind of my entire career.
Yeah.
In 2020 is when I decided to niche down. So I was working with kitchen remodeling, bathroom remodeling, home improvement companies.
Nice. Okay.
Roofing companies as well, but primarily kitchen and bath.
And then you're doing Facebook ads for them?
Yes.
And
Facebook
then,
ads, SEO. I was still doing the websites on the back end.
Nice.
So I still had all those services that I learned, and I combined everything. So it's kind of I didn't quite promote the full service digital marketing, but the best clients, if they wanted SEO, we did it.
Nice. And then did you have a team at this point, or?
Yes, I started hiring.
So who was your first ever hire?
My first hire was an appointment setter / email support.
From the Philippines?
She helped me, yes.
Nice.
And she helped me. Actually, I think that's roughly when we talked. I had her, and then we initially talked around that.
Yes.
Because I needed someone else.
Yep.
But yeah, and so I didn't know much about hiring. Got her from onlinejobs.ph, I believe. And so she just helped me respond to messages and get back to people, and essentially booking meetings on my calendar.
Super.
Like IG, LinkedIn.
This podcast is brought to you by Remote Latinos. Remote Latinos is a world-class recruiting company that helps companies scale by finding the best talent in the world. We've hired over 1,000 people, and if you're watching this and you're looking to hire someone else, head over there, remotelatinos.com, link in the bio, book a call with our team, and let us help you out. This podcast is also sponsored by our community in school. If you're interested in real estate, whether it's wholesaling, fix and flipping, or even Airbnbs, we have a community with nearly 1,000 people that share everything they know about real estate. We go live every single week, do a Q&A. This is absolutely free. And our ultimate goal is just to provide you guys value and connect with more real estate investors, wholesalers, fix and flippers, or really entrepreneurs that are interested in real estate.
So then 2020, obviously great years, things started to click. And then obviously the agency game, wasn't enough, or you felt like there was another opportunity, which I'm very interested, because I don't actually know what happened. Because I know you're doing good with the agency, but I don't know if you were hitting a point where you couldn't scale past the point, or if you got burnt out, maybe a mix of the two. So let's talk a little bit about that, because I think there's a lot of agency owners that are watching this, and they're doing 10, 20K a month. They're making enough income to where they can live a decent life, but definitely not making a lot of money, millions of dollars, buying houses, whatever the case they want to do. So you go through 2020. At what point were you like, all right, I'm kind of like, we haven't taken it to the next level. There's got to be something else.
Yeah, yeah. So in 2021 is when I took my first digital nomad trip as an entrepreneur. I've always liked traveling. I've traveled, but this is now I went to Mexico. I went to Playa del Carmen, which is, I think, it's a great entry point if you're
Yes,
getting into
100%. I love
the
that.
digital nomad
Yeah.
life. And so I went there and I just wanted to see how it looks to even run a business and also be traveling outside of the US. It's my first time really doing that. And it went really well, right? And so 2022, I ended up deciding that I'm going to sell all my stuff and start traveling. And so I traveled, I went to Mexico, and I tried to effectively retire where I was just hanging out on the beach and drinking mimosas and just, like surfing and trying different things. But I got so bored. I think the biggest thing is deciding on what purpose you want the business to serve. And for me, I didn't actually want to grow it to 100K a month. I didn't want to make 7 figures with the business. I liked where I was at, man. I was making 20K a month in revenue, 15K a month in profit. I had the best clients to work with. I didn't have a big team. I had a media buyer / performance marketer. So he did everything inside of Go High Level, ran all the ads. And then I still had that same support person that was booking some meetings, helping me with emails and that kind of stuff, all around executive assistant.
It's a good life. I mean, 15K a month profit. I mean,
yes.
Like
you can go anywhere.
Literally.
Yeah.
Like even in the US, like you can travel around the US if you wanted to.
And the whole process was pretty much systematized.
Yeah.
And I didn't really need, if I needed more clients, I just turned on an ad and I got appointments in my calendar. Boom, just closed more clients and that was it. I realized I didn't want to scale past that because then I would have to grow a team and that would cut into the profitability and so forth. When I came to, exactly. And then it would end up being more work. And at the time, I just wanted to have a better lifestyle. When I came to Medellin here is when I started networking with a lot of other agency owners. So I went through that. I go through these like cycles where I'm scaling and I'm in growth mode. And then now I sit back, I'm going to travel a little bit and enjoy everything that I built. And so I did that. And then it was a time for muck mode again. And I came here and this was my muck mode place.
2022 or
this is 2022, I believe.
Okay.
And that's when I came here and started networking and just met all these agency owners that are massive, doing 7 figures a year and so forth. And I started asking questions about their team structure and how they run their business and everything. And I realized I actually don't want that. And I realized that this doesn't sound fun at all because what you don't hear is that they're making 100K a month. They have a business partner. Okay. That's your income divided in half. Plus how much of that is profit? 30%. Right. That's pretty standard in the agency space. So that's 30K a month in profit. You have a business partner, you're making 15K and you have this massive team, all these clients to service. You're making as much as me, except I'm chilling. I just have amazing clients, amazing services, virtually no churn for the clients that ended up signing up for the multiple services. Like if we're doing SEO, web design, and Facebook ads, very rarely does a client cancel. If we're just doing Facebook
you're
ads,
all in one. Yes,
exactly. If they're just doing Facebook ads and it's their first time running ads, sometimes after 3 months, 4 months, 5, 6 months, especially in my niche too.
100%.
With contractors, they get booked up.
Yeah.
So if they can only handle so much work. Their projects are so high ticket. So what we saw was clients would stay for 3, 4 months, then they would pause for 2, 3, 4, 5 months, and then reactivate again, and they would work in cycles as well, which is fine for us because I just keep them on Go High Level. They pay $300 a month, and then whenever they're ready, we bill them again the $1,500, which is our service fee. Yeah. And then just start going from there. Yeah. So I just kind of realized that I didn't actually want to scale my agency. And then I started asking, okay, well, what do I want to do? And so the way I started, and this is leading into how I started the whole affiliate game, which wasn't even that well thought out and planned. I just went into a bunch of Facebook groups of agency owners and just started posting about lessons and about just posting what I learned, just giving value posts, and I had nothing to sell. And they started getting a lot of comments and likes. And out of those people, I would just jump on Zoom calls. So I would just see like if someone needed help, I thought maybe I'll do some one-on-one consulting and make some money for fun, but I've never charged a dime. I would just jump on Zoom, I would help people, and that was it. And then I realized High Level had a pretty good affiliate commission structure, and some of these people didn't use High Level. So I said, oh, okay, this is while I was on Zoom. Okay, well here, just use my High Level link, and then I'll just give you all my automations that work well for me. And that started working very well. And that's essentially how I started in the affiliate game.
So that was not the plan. That was like, it happened almost by accident, would you say?
Yes, but it came from good intentions. I just wanted to help. And
Yeah.
I thought maybe in the future,
Yeah.
if people want to pay me, because I also had people asking me how I make money and how
Yeah.
I travel, my friends back home and everything. But yeah, I just wanted to jump in and share what's worked well for me,
Yeah.
and it ended up obviously birthing this awesome business that I love, and that was the early days. I
Yeah.
just talked to everyone one on one. And then I had so many people that I was doing one on one calls with that I decided to do a group call, and then I started building out a course, and I made it more structured, and I genuinely just gave away everything, and then I went all in on YouTube and everything, and then everything started.
I love that. We're going to break some of this stuff down because I believe in karma, first off. So I believe if you do things on a way where you give back and you just do it because you want to actually help the person across the screen or the people across the screen, it's going to come back to you in a good fold, right? And I think it's literally how I started my VA business. The guy, funny enough, Eric Fosnat, who we both know very well, he was my first client, right? And he needed a VA. And I was like, I think I know someone and let me figure it out. And boom, his VA from 3.5 years ago is still with him today. She's getting paid, I think 4 to 5x what she got paid, many years ago.
It's amazing.
And it was on accident. Like when I say on accident, it's literally, I did not mean to start that business. I mean, and it sounds like the same thing for you because I just wanted to provide value to someone. And I was like, maybe there's something here. And then now we've placed almost 1,000 people, you know what I'm saying? And now we have an app and all this other stuff. So, which I'm really excited about. But, so I'm so interested in this. So you started hopping on consulting calls. You obviously gave away a lot of your stuff. And I think that is, as a coach, a lot of people hold back. Like so many people in the e-com space, agency space, they just hold back. They're like, I'm going to give you everything, but the one ad that actually helped me get clients, the one ad but when you give things away, which I actually think that's, one of the things that I believe helped Joel Kaplan so much than most people is because he gave away everything. He gave away so much that it actually ruined his agency. The actual marketing agency that he had, it crushed him. So like when you were starting to give away, at what point did you just say, I'm no longer going to the agency route. I'm going to go all in on this. Was it when the revenue matched what you were doing? Or was it when you're like, I actually enjoy this much more than I enjoy doing that? What was the turning point?
Well, to be clear, I still do have the agency.
Okay.
So It's not shut down. I still have it.
Okay.
And I still have my performance marketer who does everything. It's very much so hands off. I have an account manager / executive assistant that handles everything. So all my client communication, which is kind of like the final thing that I never really outsource. She does all of that. And we still get appointments almost every day. We still get appointments
and you
for
close
the
them?
agency. No, and I have a closer.
Nice. So then that's the team.
Yeah.
Media buyer, account manager, yes, your CEO and the closer. So 4 people for the agency.
Yes, the closer is not full time. He also has his own agency. He's someone within my community, and then also we do get people that apply to our agency.
Nice.
And me helping all these people, by the way, ended up growing my agency. So it kind of had the opposite effect because people would just refer business to me.
Nice.
And a lot of times if they're not in my niche, or I don't want to service them because maybe our fees now are higher and they just don't have the budget for that, I just refer them into my community as well.
Nice.
So that's the other benefit is I still want to be on the ground doing this stuff, and then I still refer business over to the community.
I'm actually very curious about your community because we're growing our own community. It's called Ariapreneurs, except we're growing it in school. I believe your community is on Facebook.
School.
Your school too?
Yeah.
Nice. Did you migrate? Because I thought you were on Facebook.
Yes.
Okay, nice. So what was that like building the community? Because that was not the case when you and I talked a couple of years ago. You didn't have that many clients for the affiliate stuff, but were you like, okay, there's something here. I got to build a community? Because that was like, not a lot of people had communities. I feel like you saw something in the opportunity of growing a way where people can ask questions and get to know each other. What was the beginning of starting a community? Like, how would you do it? How would you tell the people that are watching to start a community? And what is that like now? I just want to dive more into that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the community, I mean, again, it kind of came out of need, right? I was messaging so many people one-on-one. I was doing Zoom calls one-on-one. So the community just helped. In the beginning, it was just on Facebook. It was just a Facebook group. It was like 15 or 16 people that I had. I added them to this one Facebook group and we just all talked. And that was it. And I would send people Loom videos and responses.
Nice.
And that's essentially how it started. And then as more people joined and as I started being a bit more public with my knowledge and stuff I was sharing, and this also is what gave me YouTube ideas, is within that community. The questions that people were asking, I would make YouTube videos about.
Smart.
So instead of, I started realizing that I'm making Loom videos, and what you'll notice even on my channel, the first real agency videos that I have are just Loom videos. Like someone asked me to break down my sales call, and that was my first YouTube video that did well, is just me going over one of my sales calls and explaining why I'm saying what I'm saying as I say it. So it's not just a recording, but it's me teaching on top of it. And that's what did very well. And that's because I was just going to film it for one person. And then I realized, well, I'll just publish this. So all my YouTube videos came from just people asking questions in the community.
How many people are in the community now?
Over 1,400.
That's sick. That's so sick. I don't know if you've heard of Blake Tobes. He just won. He's here in Medellin. He was just here. I don't know if he's still here, but he's one of Icon's friends, and he won the School Olympics.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, which is pretty sick because he gets he gets flown out to Vegas at the end of the month, and he gets to hang out with the Hermosis, which is a flex, to say the least. So
that's awesome.
If someone wants to build a community today, what would you recommend? Like, why school over Facebook? What's the I want to like they have like, let's say they already have a offer, they have clients, they want to start a community. What would you do?
Biggest benefit of school is that everything is just centralized. I had issues with new people that then ended up coming from YouTube as we started scaling. The problem was people didn't know where the Zoom link was for the weekly calls, when the weekly calls were, even though I had everything nicely laid out and pinned and everything. It was just confusing for people.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
Facebook groups get messy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it ended up, especially as you scale. And then also a lot of posts just don't get seen on Facebook. They just get lost with all the other stuff that's happening on Facebook, right? So we migrated to school and it's been amazing. I think if you're looking to grow a school community, that's an amazing thing you can do. I've seen a lot of people crush it with school, and I'm friends with some of the guys on the leaderboard, and I kind of watch what they're doing, and I do talk to them sometimes about some of their strategies. And I think it's a great business model. You can make a school community about anything,
literally
any of your passions or interests or anything. Literally. And I think if I was to get started on any one of those, I mean, the first thing I would do is just give away something for free, give away a free course, which is also how we do it and how I started. I mean, all my stuff is free. But you have an initial free course, and then as you learn stuff about agency, you're going to need Go High Level. So once you sign up to that, then you get access to everything that we have for free. But to be clear, everything's free, right, already. So if I was starting from zero, I would do something similar. I would have a free course that teaches people a lot of stuff on how they can do XYZ, whatever their niche is, on their own. And chances are people are going to see that that's very difficult, takes a lot of time, and then they'll just want to hire you.
I like that. I think there's an angle to the community world where you can build something special by giving things away for free, but then you can also create back-end masterminds, which I think a lot of people are doing, and also, then start having people come to you. I'm curious. Are you ever gonna have like a meetup, like some sort of a meetup or a boot camp? Is that in the to-do list?
I don't know, man. Maybe I'll learn from you and have a meetup. You're having all these parties here in Medellin.
I know. I think at that point you have 1,400 people. Because I feel like, and I could be wrong, but I feel like seeing your stuff, knowing you, your angle is not get rich as hell. Your angle is make money, but also enjoy your life. Have a good balance. Like, go for the lifestyle. A lot of the stuff that Tim Ferriss talked in his book, I feel like that's the angle you go for. While other, gurus or coaches, whatever, they go about, hey, here's how you build a 7-figure agency. Here's how you build an 8-figure agency. Here's how you exit. It doesn't seem like that's your angle. So you have a very niche angle. Which means that the people that you are, the point I'm trying to make is the people you could bring here are people that are very like us. So it's very possible. And I think that's going to be very powerful because once they meet you, I truly believe that the coaching program that I worked for before, Agency Lab, it took it at a higher level when we actually all met each other. It's just like there's a camaraderie. This is the reason I stopped doing my podcast is because I hate doing Zoom podcasts. I know it's possible, but I like energy. You come to my house, like fucking, you kidding me? You can't get this anywhere else. So you're second highest affiliate in GHL, which is absolutely insane. When did you first start using Go High Level?
So I started using it in 2020. As I started introducing Facebook ads into my business, it just came out of need. I was running Facebook ads, and especially with contractors, they're terrible with lead follow-up and with following up with anything, right? So I'm delivering them leads inside of a spreadsheet, and it was just messy. I'm telling them to check a spreadsheet. They don't use computers. They just use their cell phones most of the time. So it just came, I needed something like this. And I was using Zapier to send text messages, and I was using a bunch of stuff, right? Yeah. So it came at a time that I definitely needed it. And as soon as I found out about it, I signed up. We had a free 14-day trial, and I've never turned back. But one thing I do want to answer also about what you said about hitting 100K a month and what kind of agency do you want, is I was very comfortable with making a full-time income. I just wanted to be free. I didn't want to be stuck doing something that I didn't like. Most men live, what was the quote by Thoreau? The massive men live lives of quiet desperation. And I saw that in my job. I had a cubicle job. I worked at call centers. I've done a bunch of work. I've done mean, I've done like manual labor jobs. I've worked in restaurants. I've worked security where it's literally my job to go and just look at people. And I would see their expressions in their faces, and I know this is not what I want. So for me, I just wanted a freedom business that even if it was 4, 5, 6K, let alone 10K a month, if it took me 10 years to build, I didn't care. I was very patient with it. I think the problem also now with these titles like 10K in 30 days and all of that is, yes, it is it's a little bit misleading. Could you do it? Of course. If you have sales experience, you have the right connections. I mean, in the agency space, it only takes a couple clients, right? At the end of the day, I was very patient with it, and I was ready for it to take a while. And that's the biggest thing that I try to also instill in other people is you do have to be patient, and you do have to build your skills, and you have to skill stack. And the reason I was able to do well also with my community and with helping people is just because I knew how to talk to people. I knew sales, and then I knew what people wanted, and I knew that I should go to my market first. I didn't just there's a lot of people that are promoting Go High Level. I'm definitely not the first person that magically discovered
100%
this.
not.
There's way more people before
Yeah.
me, and there's way more people that are signing up. But the reason I was able to make it work is just because I understood the business foundations and fundamentals that I learned inside of my agency. So if I didn't have that, I wouldn't have this, right? And that's the biggest thing that people need to understand, I think, is
You earned
it's
it,
a process.
and you earned it. Like you didn't just start teaching what you just teach and didn't do it yourself. Like you did it, and then now you're able to actually get people the value. Because if you're hopping on calls in 2017 and trying to teach people sales, marketing, you know, it's like that would not have happened. But you put in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. 2022, you've been doing business for 5 years, right? Whether it was good or not, you know, first year only 3 clients, okay, but then you started learning. It's just it's the fact that you showed up, and most people didn't, and then you stuck with it through COVID, which I think is huge. And then you were able to blow up to where you are today. And I want people to understand that it takes time. You've been playing the patient game. I'm playing the patient game. We're still in our 20s, so like we both realize, like, man, the thing you just said with that quoting, and say that quote again, the Thoreau quote.
The massive men live lives of quiet desperation.
When you said that, I'm just thinking of all the older men in my life where I see every day that they got good at the wrong thing.
Exactly.
Ty Lopez says that, and I fucking love that quote. He's
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
one of the biggest things you got to be scared of is getting good at the wrong thing. Like being good as a chef is cool and it's important,
Yes.
but you're probably going to be broke most of your life. That's the reality of this. Unless you build a business and you understand the business fundamentals, it's probably what's going to happen. So you got into high level, and then obviously you're using it with your clients, and then you started giving it away on your consulting calls. You started seeing income coming from it. Well, at what point were you like, oh, there's something here? Because it takes time. You're not making that much money from high level until you have as many people as you have now, and probably a little bit less. But like, at what point you're like, okay, hold up, there's something here where there's a huge opportunity here. I'm curious because this was not the talk that we had 2 years ago. Like, I don't think you were going towards the affiliate model.
Yeah. So it's funny because in the beginning, yes, I was losing money. Well, I was losing time because I was helping people,
Yep.
but I don't really count that as losing time. I was helping. I was trying to figure it out, and I was just surveying the marketplace and seeing maybe what my next possible step is. And the best way I know to do that is just to go talk to people and just to try to help, to see where I can fit. So I didn't know exactly what it was, but I knew that was the next step. And in the beginning, yes, I was losing money because I hired an editor. I then hired a short form person. So that's an extra expense. And then now I'm being taken away from my client work. And I didn't have an account manager, right? So we also had a couple clients leave at that point just because I'm spending way less time on it. They send me an email, it takes me a week to get back to them, 2 weeks to get back to them, right? And it happened to other clients too, but they just have worked with me for 2-3 years. Like I've had clients that have been with us for 3 years and been paying over 1,000 hours a month for that long, right? So the biggest, I think I realized around by the end of Q1, maybe midway through Q2 of 2023, I knew this is what I wanted to do. And it's because I just enjoyed helping people so much. It felt right. And then by that point, I was making roughly around a full-time income.
What would you say?
So I'm not sure exactly, but I was making over 4, 5, or 6,000 a month at that point.
So enough to take care of yourself.
Yes, exactly. And so then I realized, I think there's something here. And if I could just go harder, I enjoy it. People seem to like my videos, and I was just sharing everything, and I knew I still had more to share. So then I doubled down. And that's when I started making even more videos, and I just was transparent. And then I went, all out. Here's the exact ad that I'm running for my clients. Here's exactly what we text our potential customers. Here's exactly how many clients you got from this exact ad.
Just
Like
giving everything
Yeah.
away. It's interesting, man, because we got onto high level, I want to say 2019 or 2020. We were the first users with the marketing agency I was working at, but it was complete dog shit. Like high level back then was just like glitchy. We lost clients because of high level. I like vividly remember being in the middle of the desert, getting a freaking call, like, oh, you guys are calling, texting my clients at 5 a.m. Da, da, da. Like that stuck in my head. And now it's like, if you run an agency and you don't have high level, you either are completely ignorant or you have no idea about it. There's like no in between. Every agency owner I know uses high level to there's a point where I think high level can get a little bit stagnant, and I don't know if you know how many 8-figure companies are using them, but 6 and 7-figure companies, which is majority of agency owners, are 100% on it. So you started making money about a year ago, maybe like almost, I mean, I guess exactly a year ago, and then now you've been able to go full on content, which is pretty cool because you didn't do content 2 years ago, 3 years ago. This is a little bit newer for you. You've been blowing up. I absolutely love it. You inspire everyone that knows you. You inspire them by doing content because you actually get good. And it's like, this motherfucker was not doing content 2 years ago, and now he's like, I see him everywhere, and it's really cool. And I love that you're also doing Instagram now. And what was that turning point like? Because you did do content, and then now you started doing content. You started blowing up. Your YouTube is one of the best YouTubes out there for anyone that wants to learn about making money online and building a business and lifestyle. It's like I love the topics that you cover on your channel. What was the turning point for you to be like, I gotta do content? There's something here outside of being an affiliate, outside of the marketing agency I have. I gotta go hard on this.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's just serving the market. In the beginning, I've sent a lot of Loom videos to agency owners to help that I never published, that would never be seen. And it was so custom and so personalized that I didn't even think about publishing that. It wasn't until I had the Facebook group and I started answering questions with Loom video that I realized, I bet a lot of people would benefit from this. And so in the beginning, it was just me publishing Loom videos. And so that's really what it was. I mean, even a year ago, I wasn't publishing that much and I was kind of just still learning about it. But yeah, I doubled down once I started seeing some people reach out to me from YouTube, and they would send me messages on Instagram, which I didn't even have a link back then. And they would just say, hey man, love your content, or hey, we just got this result for this client. And then I started seeing that these are not just, I wasn't getting many views, but off of a 500 view video, a couple people DM'd me and told me that it helped their clients and it helps their agency, and they got a client because of this strategy or this method. It showed me that it's not about the view count, and people are genuinely getting help from it. So I think that was the point that I realized, okay, there's my angle and the way that I'm sharing my agency isn't really out there. No one really talks about it because we also downsell high level and offer that as a SaaS plan.
Yeah. It's a little bit different.
Yeah, we've run ads just for the SaaS plan at $300 a month. We have like website in a day packages. So it's not just like SMMA and just Facebook ads. So it's a kind of unique approach, and no one else was talking about it, but it's worked best for me because I've tried it. I've tried doing just SEO. I've tried doing just high ticket websites, right? I've tried doing just Facebook ads. So
then would you say it just didn't work, or is it more like you wanted to do a package that makes a little more sense?
Well, it did work because I still made money, but it wasn't as long term as I wanted, right? If I have a client, yeah, exactly. Most agencies, I mean, what do you think churn is like? 3 months, 4 months?
No, I think that's insane. It's 1 month. The average agency owner has a client for a month.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
You're thinking
well,
about
that's terrible. You're basically.
Well, I'm telling you that all the agencies I know, it's a 1 month. The good, it's about 3-4 months. The great is over 6 months. That's like that's like so rare. You've got to be in the space for 2 things are happening if you have clients over 6 months. You've been in the space for a long time and you know exactly what you're doing, or you're really cheap. That's usually what the 2 instances. So the churn, I'm assuming is you're like, I don't want to sign clients and then they leave 2-3 months later.
Exactly.
I want to keep people as long as they are here. Interesting. So I got one golden nugget I got from this conversation so far is obviously growing the community, your own school. So shout out to school, is to give something away for free. Another golden nugget I got so far is the way you create a lot of your content. I don't know if it's all your content, but a lot of your content has come from your audience telling you, they're struggling with a set point, and you would create a Loom video and you're like, I'm going to share this. If someone wants to get into the affiliate marketing world, because it is a pretty attractive offer, high level is still super young. And I do have actually backfire to you on that because I do want to challenge you in a second. But if someone wants to get into the affiliate marketing world, how do they start? Because they're like, I don't really know marketing that well. I don't know Facebook ads, SEO. Is it something that you recommend? Hey, start there, learn how to do the agency, and then get into affiliate marketing? Or do you think in today's day and age, you can actually start as an affiliate marketer?
So that's a good question. I think, well, the first thing is I never viewed myself as an affiliate. I didn't just get in to be an affiliate marketer.
Sure.
I was helping people.
Yeah.
And out of everything, I was coaching people. And that was it. The affiliate offer was just a way to monetize that. That benefited me and that benefited them because it's free. So that's essentially how I stumbled into it. And then that became my main model, right? So I think if you're starting today, you would need some kind of unique angle and you would need to show something that you've done. I think if you are starting from zero, this is also what I believe, your efforts are much better just even getting SaaS clients or doing the agency space. Like if I lost everything today, I would do agency again. I wouldn't necessarily just do affiliate because in all my videos, I explain things that I've done and I've explained my experiences and my processes and my systems and everything. But if I didn't have that, what would I talk about? So I think if you want to make money ASAP, then I would do agency. And through that, I would document that. And then what you find works with your clients, I would just share that with an affiliate link. And you can also monetize with many different affiliate products and strategies. So maybe if you booked your first client, I would make a video about that and then just share what softwares you used to book that first client and then monetize that way and then link them all in the description or have them all in a spreadsheet with your affiliate link. And that's how I would make money with affiliate, but I would focus on the agency.
Okay. Interesting. So you would recommend someone starting with like an actual business rather than going to like as a high level affiliate? I mean, I would say for two reasons. Not one, because it's pretty hard. I wouldn't say it's a hard sale. You don't make that much money from high level being an affiliate until you have a lot of clients. And also, what type of value do you provide besides the software? Because if you just recommend the software, but they don't know anything about it, they have no automations, no systems, they have nothing is in there. It is a completely useless software if you don't know what you're doing with it, because there's so much going on there, right? So here's my challenge to you. High level is incredible. I love it. I've been to both events, unlike someone here. But I meant obviously the founders, and they're really cool guys. I love the community. I love even last year, man. The speakers they had on there. I mean, Cody Sanchez just blew my mind. They had a bunch of other people, but the one that stuck to me was Cody. Let's say a high level gets bought out today, and then they pause the affiliate model because right now it's ran because of what has brought them this far.
Right.
What does Pavlo do? Is Pavlo going all in on the coaching model and he's like, okay, I'm going to become a coach for these agencies? Or is it like maybe there's another software I can go into, move all my affiliate people there? Because whether you like it or not, you're an affiliate marketer, and it is what it is, right? Like I didn't think I was going to be a recruiter, and I am, you know?
Right.
So like, if high level gets bought out, like what would be your plan?
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I think it's all value exchange. And I think I've spent so many years building these skills that, I mean, I'll never be broke. And I realized that once I learned websites and a little bit of programming. I'll never be pushing a broom. I'll never be unclogging toilets. I'll never be working at McDonald's because now I have skills. And that was it. And so honestly, I think I can enter any market, and if I'm focused enough, I'll figure it out. And I think in this situation, well, I would do two things. I would double down on my agency and just start running way more paid ads. That's a great model. I have all the staff for it. And I would just build a school community and just keep doing what I'm doing. I'd have a paid school community, and I would just charge a monthly subscription, and I would keep doing what I'm doing. I also love the coaching. I couldn't ever step back from that. Now I like it a lot. I like the downside of my niche is everything's so high ticket, right? A kitchen, 70,000, and you're making your client so much money. And it's cool, but they don't ever really say thank you, right? They never actually tell you that you're doing a good job.
Change my freaking business.
This is right. And at the end of the day, I think this is true in all agency niches, right? A client doesn't ever call you because they want to say good job. They call you because there's something wrong. Something needs to get fixed. Something's down. And on the month that you did really well, they just don't text you. Okay, he's doing his job, right? And that's it. So I enjoy that fulfillment from it. Because I'm so used to grinding. Yeah, the coaching. Yes. Yeah. I'm so used to just grinding and having no feedback and just making more money and, having my lifestyle as the reward. And that's cool. But I think at the end of the day, also, this is something that I share, is you only have to get good once. Like you only really have to learn sales once, and then you can kind of sell anything. So I'm sure you can go work at a car dealership anywhere and make six figures, make 10K a month. If like the internet or something, you couldn't be a high ticket closer. You would crush it, right? And so would I. So we have the skills and you can't take that away. So at the end of the
I
day,
like that.
that's what I would focus on.
Yeah.
I would just keep building.
Yeah. What's your plan to be the number one affiliate for High Level?
Well, I guess you'll have to see and find out.
I love it. I love it because I'm sure. I mean, you're number 2 on the board. You're so close, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's a damn good feeling. What's been like? What's been a fulfilling moment for you with the agency world? Because you're coaching people versus the agency clients that don't a little bit less grateful. I can definitely see that be a trend. Do you feel like you get thanked more? Do you feel like it's like, man, what's when you say it's more fulfilling? What is more fulfilling about it? Because you're helping both people. You're helping one person with kitchen, the other person with agency. Like what does more fulfilling mean?
More fulfilling means when you have someone go from 0 to making their first $1,000 a month online. That is that aha powerful moment that also I shared in the beginning of my journey, because then it's possible. That is the most powerful thing. People that just start making money and they weren't doing it before. They're making 1,000, 2,000. I mean, we have one guy that went from 0 to 12K a month, I think, in around six months, which is insane.
Insane.
That's crazy. Like most people go to school and that's almost doctor level money. He did it in 6 months, right? So that is super fulfilling.
I love that.
And I talk to people every day, and it's cool to hear their experiences. And people send me DMs of clients that they sold and all this. And so I like seeing that. It's cool.
I love that. Do you feel like do you want to push more of like the digital nomad lifestyle? Is that something because of what you are? A lot of people coach on what they are, right? Because that's what you know. Do you feel like you want to create more nomads through travel and what you're doing, or do you want people to just like kind of figure out like who do you feel like you're targeting? Because I kind of mentioned that earlier in the call, but I want to just readdress that again for people that are watching. Like, do you feel like you're targeting people that you should travel and nomad, or do you feel people that just like, hey, you know what, go make money, live in your mom's basement? Like, what?
Yeah.
Who do you target?
I want people to just have freedom. That's it. For me, that meant travel. I love travel. And in the beginning, I wasn't really traveling, especially in 2020. I was the opposite. I was working 10, 12 hours a day to figure this all out, right? And it's just about having freedom. And for me, I like traveling. I like doing other things. Like I got into YouTube and I was helping people. If I didn't have an agency that I scaled, I wouldn't be able to do any of it. A, because I wouldn't have the skill, but B, I wouldn't have the time freedom, right? The biggest moment also that I'm the most proud of is when I started paying my mom a salary every single month.
So sick.
Right.
Can we please talk about that for a second? That is like
That's
the
the best
coolest
feeling.
thing in the world. So
Right.
what was that like? I'm so jealous, and that is inspiring as hell. Your mom obviously been grinding. You talked about her having multiple jobs, moving you from Ukraine. I mean, literally buyers, like probably not even speaking English, I'm assuming, or
Yes.
very little. What was that moment like? At what point did you start paying her salary and like?
Yeah, so that is that moment of freedom that I'm talking about. You don't have to hit 7 figures. Like for most people, if they can just hit 5K a month, they're pretty free. 5K a month profit. If they hit 10K a month, you can at least pay your family something, 1 to 2K a month, right? If you're making that in profit. So for me, I started doing that, I think in 2021, and it was amazing. But I was sending her money here and there. And then I think it was last year where it was like consistent every single month. And I mean, the year prior, it gradually increased as I started increasing my income as well.
And is that just to cover her basic necessities?
Yes. In
Yeah.
the beginning, yes.
Yeah.
Now it's more than that.
Yeah, nice.
The past year and a half, I mean, it's been more than that. But
Nice.
yeah.
So you're taking like is she? Would you say she's retired, or is she like?
She's not retired. She still works.
Nice. And that's so cool, man. And like, do you want to fully? I'm assuming the goal is to fully retire her.
Yeah, of course.
Do you have a number in your head of what that looks like? Have you guys talked about that?
Yes, she's very close to retiring in her job. She only has a couple years left, and so she just said, she wants to stick it out.
Yeah.
And plus, she's worked with the coworkers for a long time and everything.
So
and
it's a little bit different, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit different, but yeah, we've talked about it.
Nice.
And I think it's her idea. She wants to wait a couple years.
Yeah.
And so obviously by that point, I mean, she's going to be, getting paid a 6-figure salary. So
I'm sure you already know this, dude, but she's got to be so fucking proud because, dude, like moving from like, I wouldn't say Ukraine is a third world country, but it's definitely not USA, right? So moving from a country that obviously is going through a ton of stuff now, ton of stuff when you're a child to here to, you didn't take the route that she probably wanted you to take, I'm assuming. And then now you're paying her salary. It's the coolest like
thank you for bringing me to this world, and now I get to do whatever the hell I want. I have a little bit different relationship with my mom. It's very similar, I would say, but it's different in a sense because mine when I retire her, it's gonna be like, I fucking told you, I told you all this stuff when I was a freaking kid, and I feel like every day I feel like we're getting closer and closer. So it's the coolest thing in the world, man. To me, it's not about making money; it's what you do with your money, right? Which is one of the charities that we have here, and we want to. Last year we raised close to $30,000.
Yeah, it's awesome.
We want to do double that, $60,000. And I like challenge all my rich friends. I'm like, dude, you're rich. Fucking go donate $1,000. Like I want to literally change we live here. We take so much for this country. Why not give back? So that's obviously one of the missions that we have. So, as we wind down, dude, learned a lot. Your story's crazy because you've been doing this for a while, man. It's cool to see someone that has just stuck out to it. Cause I feel like I've been doing it since 2018. You saw it in 2017 and we're here now. It's like a full circle. And I told this to Jana, who I did a podcast with last. Do you feel like you're just getting started?
Of course, man. This is
Feels
just
like
the beginning.
It feels like we've just built up to this.
Yeah, of course, man. I feel like I'm just in the foundational like baby steps.
Yes.
Right. I mean, we're both still in our 20s.
Yeah.
So we are in the grand
Yeah,
scheme of things.
yeah.
This is nothing.
100%.
Right. And that's what a lot of people also don't realize. They think that they don't make it or they don't get their first client in 30 days, 60, 90 days, whatever. That's it.
Yeah.
Right. But 100%, man, I feel like this is the beginning and I'm just learning. I'm just starting to get better at content and I'm just starting to figure things out. That's what it feels like.
I love it.
Yeah.
Do you, let's say, how old are you today?
28.
So we're same age. 28-year-old Pavlo knocks on the door of 2017-year-old Pavlo. So you must have been, what, 22 years old?
Mhm.
What do you tell that Pavlo?
Learn sales, though.
Is that the first thing? Like, go learn sales?
Yes. I was too focused on programming and the technical side of things.
Mm.
Had I learned sales earlier, I would have just made more clients. I would have made more money. I would have gotten more clients. I would have been able to make a full-time income earlier. Because I'm not by nature a salesperson. I'm more of a back-end like
Systems.
tech guy. Exactly. I like that stuff.
Yeah.
Now I end up liking sales as well, but I didn't really know like what sales properly was. I thought it was kind of like a suit and tie, like used car
Car sales. Yeah.
Like that was my image of it. But once I realized I also love philosophy. So once I learned the Socratic method, which is just asking questions and then solving that, it was it was amazing. It was night and day.
It's crazy once you learn the sales process how things can change. I've noticed that with my sales guy. Like he closed a deal today. He closed
Nice.
8 deals last month. But he closed 1 deal in January. And I'm like, we're training every day. And it's just
That's
so cool because to me, it's like you get to teach what you are, but also like the best sales trainers in the world, I really believe they adapt to the person in front of them. I don't want him to sell like me. I want him to sell like his best version. Keep going, right? That's what you tell yourself in the earlier version of yourself. And for those who are watching, right, obviously they're going to find you on your YouTube channel, Instagram, everything's going to be in tagged below. If someone is struggling right now, they've been watching this video, we talked about the crypto boom just before this podcast. Things are booming crypto, but let's be honest, majority of people are not making money from crypto, right? We know people because we're in the space of people making money. What is the best way for someone to make their first $1,000 a month in the online space? Like what does that first step look like?
I don't think it's just about making your first 1,000, but making your first 1,000 in profit, also in monthly reoccurring revenue. Because you can make 1,000, right? But it's different when you make 1,000 in drop shipping. And even if you do make that in profit, what happens if the Facebook algorithm changes, or what happens when your product dies out, right? Refunds. And so, you can still transfer those skills, so it's good. But that's why I like the agency space so much, is you can pivot that into so many other businesses. I did it, right? You did it. You started in agency sales, and now you're doing what you're doing. And I'm sure you learned so much from that company and how much that agency grew that you also apply to yours. And I think the best way to start, honestly, is just cold calling. People hate doing that, but I think if you sit down and you cold call, you hit 2 birds with 1 stone. A, you're prospecting and getting clients, but B, you're getting very good at sales. So by the time you have them on a Zoom demo call, it's easy because cold calling is hard. And I think that would be the best way. Start offering something like website in a day, which by the way is just like a copy and paste, like high level website. You just slap their logo on it. It's very easy. You find people that don't have a website. You tell them you built them one. They can see it if they want for free on Zoom. And then you jump on Zoom, you take a high level template of their niche, and then you just put their logo on it.
I love that.
And then you just bring them through the sales process, and then
Easy.
it's a couple $100 a month. I mean, how many clients do you need to make 1K? And that's a reoccurring revenue. And how long will they stay? I mean, forever.
And they need a website, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then I would also add in like the same thing you can do on business.facebook.com. You can see if someone's running ads. So they might, I would say most businesses now probably have websites, I mean, today's in age, but they're probably still not running ads.
Yeah.
That's still like a rare thing. So you can look on Facebook, business.facebook.com, cold call these businesses. And the thing is, they don't understand the grind of cold calling, because I believe cold calling is the second hardest way of selling. The first is door knocking, because they're getting turned on in front of your face.
Yeah.
It's funny because I've sold cars, I've done, sold chiropractic, all this stuff, but I can only do one day of door sales. Now, keep in mind, I was selling the worst. I was selling internet. So I remember thinking to myself, this is like, everyone has internet. Like who doesn't have internet? I just hate it. I was selling some AT&T shit, but and I did the door to door, and dude, it was so hard. It was hot in the summer. You're getting turned on to your face. So one thing when someone hangs up, you feel it, but it's like, okay.
Just dial the next person.
Yeah, 100%. I love what you said, because that is a great way to start a business. What I tell people is go join a company. Go work for Pavlo. Go work for one of Pavlo's. I'm sure out of the 1,400 people you have, someone's looking for an appointment setter. Someone's looking for a media buyer. Someone's looking for someone that they're willing to pay minimal, but they'll give them the experience.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of people just jump into the entrepreneurship world where they don't realize that you should just get a job first and learn. I would not be here today without the first jobs that I had, and working for a marketing agency, and then high ticket sales, and then growing the audience, and then there's just all the skills that I have today just came from there. So that's cool, man. So I do like the fact that cold calling is just so simple, but most people never do it.
Exactly.
Most people never do content. So
and it teaches you the grit too. I mean, it's it teaches you. I mean, I've worked other difficult jobs, manual labor, where I'm just hammering stakes in the ground and setting up tents.
Yeah.
Right in the sun, and then it rains, and then the stake is lifting off the ground, so we're there all day just hammering this. I've worked jobs like this for 10, 12 hours a day. So cold calling was easy compared to that. Oh, I'm in an air-conditioned office. Cool. I just have to call people. This is easy, right? And then it made everything else. So then making content is easy then too. Running an agency is easy. So I think if you just start there and you do stuff that's hard, you just develop that grit that a lot of people don't have, because they're just so scared of rejection, right?
It's hard. I mean, it's a cold approach,
Yeah.
That's a whole other skill. I have a friend that's right now blowing up from cold approaching. It's pretty cool to see, but it's what he's doing is not impossible. Anyone can do it.
Right.
But how many actually will, and how many will get good? Because it's one thing to do it, it's another thing to get good, and it's another thing to become elite at that skill set. So you mentioned one thing, and it just popped back in my head. You have been keeping your team super lean. Kind of jealous. But I also in my head, I'm like, it's hard to build something really crazy big with a lean team. I think you can build a profitable business, make 7 figures. But I think when you get to the $5 to $10 million range and even beyond, it's kind of hard to build it with a 15-person team, 20-person team. You have to get that level. How much do you guys in your coaching program, how much do you talk about hiring the first person and keeping your team lean? Do you advise people hey, maybe you need 2 appointment setters? What's your stance on a lean team? Obviously that's something you do.
Yep.
Versus a big team and actually growing something that's
Yeah. So I mean, I don't have experience in making $5-10 million a year. I think in my next project, when I do that, then I'll have to learn that skill and manage all those people and have managers and all of this. But right now, I think for most people, and realistically, most people aren't going to grow a business that's that big, right? And I preach a lean team because I like it. It's just less stress, it's higher profit, and you're able to just build a connection more with this person. You're doing more Zoom calls with them. If you work with someone that you like, that's just your focus, you can go deeper with them, and then they'll just want to do better work for you. And that's worked very well for me. I teach getting appointment setters and getting your performance marketer. I think these are the only real 2 people that you need if you want to scale business past $20,000 per month in profit.
Yeah.
I don't see why you need more people than that. If you're doing the client check-in calls yourself, that is, right? If you want to remove yourself further, then you'll need a third person. That's an account manager, client success / coach, that kind of person. And so I teach that, and I teach those initial people. I think immediately the most important person is a performance marketer. Just someone to run ads,
media
and
buyer.
then like a media buyer, but they also do go high level. They do all your landing pages. They do all that.
Do you prefer hiring a media buyer? At what point Do you prefer that? And why not white label? Why not just go to a white label route?
Yeah, because I want to build a team.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you want someone that's going to be with you forever, and you want stuff that's within your control. If you have a white label company, you're essentially hiring another company. You're just outsourcing everything. Like you don't have as much control, I feel. And if like I have an employee that I can, or a contractor that I can send him like a course that I purchased for him, and he can go through it and he can get better, or we could jump on Zoom, just hash out ideas, and I just like that more.
Mm.
And then I can give him a raise, and it genuinely changes his life.
That's cool. So building a team inside. Cool, man. We've hit an hour. I don't know if you realize that. We've been crushing it.
Nice.
My last question to you is this, and I forgot to ask Jana this, but now it popped in my head. I'm going to ask every person this: is what's one thing you believe in that most people would call you like crazy? They'll be like, I can't believe that this is your belief here.
I think Naval Ravikant, I think he defined rich or wealthy as someone that just doesn't need to go do something they don't want to do. And I think we can all achieve that. That's kind of what I preach, which is freedom. That's it. Might be 3-4K a month and just travel the world to one person. It could be 100K a month to someone else, right? But I think anyone can achieve that. I don't think you need to be a massive entrepreneur with all of these entrepreneurial skills and want to have this grit and to want to grow a multi-million-dollar business. I think if you're just willing to work and put in the time, I think anyone can make a full-time income minimum and just travel or maybe just spend more time with their kids.
I love it.
Whatever
Mr.
they want.
Pavlo, this was a pleasure. I'm excited to see you number one in the affiliate board. I'm excited to be like, I know that motherfucker. I remember when he was not even on the board. And I believe that it's just a matter of time. It's not a matter of if. And obviously the people are going to find you, IG, YouTube. You talked about next projects, which I'm excited to, maybe have you on in the future and you can share with the rest of the world where you're at now. And dude, let's make 2024 the best year yet.
Let's do it, brother.